Welcome to the HuttoTransparency.org videocast. Today, we're diving into a really important explainer. We're going to completely unpack the complex financial reality behind the city of Hutto's proposed municipal fire department takeover. Specifically, we're looking at the Skybox data center's massive, and I mean massive, capital investment, and we'll analyze how the city's proposed plans effectively shift the burden of public safety costs directly onto us, the local residents. It's a $10 billion math problem, and today we're going to solve it together using the city's very own documents. Let's get right into it. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the true baseline cost, look at that $10 billion valuation, break down the ESD tax equation, compare the taxpayer costs versus the business benefit, and finally, look at the ultimate wealth transfer. Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the true baseline cost, understanding the city's initial numbers. Looking directly at the city's own presentation regarding the addition of a municipal fire department, they project a total estimated impact of roughly $1.56 million. Sounds straightforward, right? Well, look closely at the fine print right at the top. These cost estimates are based on a start date of January 1, 2027. Since the fiscal year starts earlier, this $1.56 million figure is actually just a partial, 9-month operating window. It's not a full year. Now, when you take those exact same city numbers and project them out to a full 12-month reality, that annual operating cost jumps to $2.1 million. So mathematically speaking, based purely on their own documents, this initial setup costs residents $2.1 million a year. And for what? For a department with a single 10-year-old pumper engine, 0 reserves, and just 12 total firefighters? Mathematically, this provides absolutely no statistical addition to the existing Class 1 ISO fire protection our community already enjoys through the ESD. We're paying more for essentially 0 added benefit. Moving right along to Section 2. A $10 billion valuation at the scale of Skybox Data Center. We really have to talk about the astronomical scale of what is coming, because it's a huge catalyst for these territory maneuvering plans. According to the source documents, the Skybox Power Campus, Austin, located on the Hutto Megasite, is literally the largest hyperscale data center campus in the entire state of Texas. We're talking about a 3.9 million square foot, 6-building facility sitting on 159 acres, complete with its very own 600 megawatt power station. A facility of this sheer magnitude requires incredibly heavy-duty, highly specialized fire protection. But what is a campus like that actually worth? Well, to answer that, we turn to the official tax abatement agreement between the City of Hutto and the Hutto Data Center campus. I want to draw your attention specifically to the language officially documented right there in the 4th paragraph of this agreement. Check this out. To receive their 50% city tax abatement, Skybox and its tenants are officially required to make a staggering minimum capital investment of $10 billion. $10 billion. That is the massive valuation baseline we absolutely need to keep in mind as we figure out who actually pays for the emergency services required to protect an asset of this incredible size. Which brings us to Section 3, the ESD tax equation, uncovering the math. Now, what's really interesting about this is how things work under our current emergency services structure. The absolute most critical piece of information here is that the City of Hutto's 50% tax abatement agreement with Skybox does not apply to the Emergency Services District, or ESD. The city's financial reports are crystal clear on this. They aren't subject to abatement agreements by other governmental entities, and the city cannot abate the ESD's taxes. Because this legal loophole effectively closes at the ESD level, Skybox is currently required to pay the full, unabated property tax rate to the ESD for their fire protection. And what exactly is that rate? Under the state of Texas Constitution, the state-mandated maximum property tax rate for an emergency services district is 10 cents per $100 of property valuation. That's the exact rate Skybox currently faces to secure fire protection for their Megasite campus. So let's do the math together. On a required $10 billion minimum capital investment, a 10-cent tax per $100 of valuation equals exactly $10 million. Mathematically, that means this hyperscale data center will pay $10 million a year directly to the ESD. That is $10 million annually, generated by the business itself to cover the heavy-duty fire protection their massive campus requires. Let's look at Section 4, taxpayer cost versus business benefit, the split-screen reality. This right here is where the city's proposed fire department takeover completely flips the financial landscape on its head. To understand the mechanism, we just have to read the City of Hutto's own published fire FAQ. It states that if the city builds a fire station, proves they can provide equal or better service, and legally removes the megasite from the ESD territory, well, quote, the ESD's property tax on that specific area goes away, since the ESD no longer has jurisdiction there. It doesn't get transferred. It is entirely erased. And that creates a stark split-screen reality for us. On the business side, the benefit is huge. If the city successfully removes the megasite from the ESD, Skybox's $10 million annual property tax bill for fire protection vanishes entirely. It doesn't come to the city. It vanishes. On the taxpayer side, though, here's the cost. To legally claim that territory, the city must build an equal or better fire department. So the city is forced to pass the bill directly onto Hutto residents through an estimated 10% tax hike. Finally, Section 5, the ultimate wealth transfer. Who really pays for public safety? When you step back and look at the documented numbers, the tax abatement agreements, and the legal mechanisms for de-annexation, a very clear picture emerges. Let's walk through it. Step 1. By legally removing the territory from the ESD, a multi-billion-dollar business successfully avoids paying $10 million a year for their own heavy-duty fire protection. Step 2. The city still has to build an incredibly expensive fire department to legally claim that territory and prove equal service. And Step 3, because the business's massive tax obligation just vanished, local homeowners are left holding the bag, absorbing the cost of funding that city fire department through a tax hike. So mathematically, the cost of our fire service is effectively being transferred from a massive multi-billion-dollar corporation directly to local taxpayers. Which really leaves us with one final crucial question. Now, maybe this is part of the city's strategy to attract business and just an accidental side effect of it, but officially, nothing has been said about it. And as of now, it is clear who benefits from a municipally owned fire department and who doesn't. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer, and we strongly encourage you to keep asking questions about the numbers that shape our community.